Loki here, blue heavens, represent Lazarus, part of the Lazarus crew, and part of the Lucian crew. Yes, it's true. I am not part of the Asgard crew. Do not ask me about that. Do not question underneath and say, what about Asgard? What about Odin? No, I don't care. There, now next subject. Now, we're going to talk about the little bit thing called beliefs. Now, beliefs is something that get humans into all kinds of stopping. Your ego mind and all of it. And then overthinking and all of it kind of goes in together. So we're going to tackle into these things. So, beliefs. Your beliefs are just whatever that you have believed in the course of you in this realm. But you got to remember you're a multidimensional being, meaning that it's all going on right now. Meaning that all these other thoughts is going on. So all belief systems and things like that from all these other are hitting you here. You got to remember your soul light's very intelligent. It didn't just separate you here. Because why can you astral travel to these other parallel lives and see yourself in these lives and you meditate? Think about that for a second. So you are establishing different thought patterns according where you're at. If you improve in one, you start improving in the others. And that is true how that works. But your beliefs is what you value, what you've grown up as, and how many, other humans have been around you enforcing certain ideas in your head. And it'll create values. It creates different thought patterns. Are you people pleasing? You're here to reward. Are you like needy and have to be rewarded for anything? You won't do anything because you feel you got to be rewarded because it was like a dog-child relationship with your parent, and you feel, well, if I get a dog treat, I'm like so. And you grow into not knowing why you can't disappoint anybody, why you have to do that, and then you overthink. Well, there's something wrong with me when somebody doesn't respond. And the way you're looking for somebody to respond. And it all kind of comes in, and then you create these illusions. And it's very easy to do, to get your imagination. It takes just a second, and you start spiraling. And before you know it, you don't even know where you're at. You're in a cave, and you go, where in the hell am I at now? It started off here, and then I'm over here. And what the hell happened? I could tell you many times that I've done that, and didn't know where the hell I was. It's like, wow, I don't know where I started. What? I've had many fucked up existences. The plague doctor? Yes, part of that whole wonderful thing. And many memories associated. Not pleasant, if you're wondering. So, there you go. And the bubonic plague. And all of these wondrous things for me were not very pleasant. I overthought a lot on these times. But I also overthought on the great times as well. Because I didn't think I deserved to have any great moments in my life. And a lot of you humans feel that as well. You feel like something great's going on for you that you don't deserve that. And I used to think that I didn't deserve that. And growing up in Asgard, I didn't get the best care. Mom loved me. Dad was a douche. Cannot help that. And that is my story. And when you grow up not being liked by one of your parents, but one loves you, you grow up thinking the world is different, especially when they have you as a trickster. And you are and it will give you an ego to prove differently, which is what I always did. I wanted to prove differently. But I overthought everything. A lot of the stories you're going to hear are not even true stories about me. They're not true. I didn't do half the shit they say I did because I like to make up a lot of stuff. Let's talk about the horrors. Don't celebrate Mother's Day on my account. That's an example. She just likes to spread crap about me. I was never there, so I spread shit about her. She spread shit about me, and there you go. And then you guys got a wonderful memoir of fake things that didn't happen. I don't care about Thor and Odin enough to do the things that they said I did. I wasn't there half the time. I was too busy corralling with my human here. I didn't care much about being anywhere. Because most of my time is I'm here to protect her. And no matter what lifetime, even what's happening now, and it is me protecting her. I'm still protecting, I'm just here doing it. But overthinking came naturally to me. It just seemed like, you're Loki, you overthink. You're going to judge, and then you're going to create a shadow, then you're going to create chaos, and then you're just going to get yourself in trouble, and then you got to backtrack it out, and then by the time you backtrack it out, I'm in a cave, and I don't care anymore. I walk away from her, I walk away from my son, I walk away, which is okay. I walk away from the things that because I didn't feel I was deserving of anything, and I judge it. I would judge it based on how I was treated in other lives. Because once I leave like Asgard, and then I come here and I create another life. Then I create another. I don't die, but I always remember all my other lives. I've been a pirate, a Viking, I've been, you name it, I've been it. In Egypt, and everything you can possibly imagine. So how do you get past that? Well, it's accepting. So how did I get past all of these things in my beliefs and all of this? Was I went to my cave for a very long time. I didn't want to come out of my cave. I wanted to stay in my cave and hermit. I didn't want to come out and find Michelle. I didn't care anymore. Angie by that point had left me. That's another story. But they used to be one whole and then they separated because Angie said she was just tired of my crap. She had every right to leave. But that left me in despair at that time because I thought, what did I do again? She always followed me no matter what. And here I have one leaving me. And I thought, wow, I was really so fucked in the head that she had to leave. And I took that so personally, and I never thought it like, well, if I'd done this differently, if I'd done that differently, then she would be here. But at that point, I was in a very despairing place. I was in a very bad place. And I went to my cave. I put rocks, and I wasn't coming out. I don't need to eat and drink. I'm not going to do that. That's an added bonus if I choose it, but I just didn't want to. So I am an existence rotting in a cave. And of course, I feel this light finding me, which is her. She wants me out. And in the meantime, she's going through these different times without me. And I could project and see her going through all of this other chaos. And I'm thinking, so here I am watching everything from my hermit position. So many humans at this point, in your life and existence, you're in your metaphorical cave. That's why we say cave. And I wasn't in no metaphorical cave. I was just in a cave. That's where I did my best thinking, and I left. And these things are still happening today because it's multi-dimensional. And I wasn't there for a long time, but I could see, because I'm connected to the both of them, even though they separated, I still connected to both. And I would see Michelle fight with Angela because she didn't know why. And she's fighting with Michelle, and they didn't know. And I'm watching it, and here I am hiding. I left society. I didn't want nothing to do with it. I knew from Asgard, from a pirate, from a Viking in Egypt, and I couldn't handle it anymore. It was just too much, I thought, to just deal with. I overthought everything. I had left the best thing in my life, even when I was going downhill, and she loved me so much. Angela always loved me too, but she had a different path that she was taking, and that I understood. But at the time, no, I didn't understand, but now I understand. And she's very happy where she is, and Michelle always followed me, and yeah, it's like, what are you drinking, Michelle? What's in that fruity juice of yours? What are you following me for? When I said I'm a demon, she goes, oh, okay, wonderful, what does that mean? Just means I'm more of an ass, I guess. I don't know. But she just followed me, I love her, so I'm glad. But I'm watching all these things, and she's looking for her protector. I wasn't very good at teaching her how to protect herself. I was too busy protecting her. I overthought everything, which made her overthink everything. So, so you as well. You're in your cave, metaphorical cave, and you're sitting there, and so the first thing what I did, I just went through all the things that I started overthinking about. Like, why did Odin always treat me like the worst thing in the world? I always thought he abused me. I thought all of the worst, but then, so you had to reflect it out. Realizing he was just a reflection of me. Why didn't I like myself? I knew I was different. So he'd reflect what I thought about me, right back at me all the time. I was always jealous of Thor. Naturally, I wasn't really their child. I came from elsewhere. I was Odin's son, but I was not my mom's son. But she just said I was going to be mom. I'm going to be mom, you're going to be my son, that's it. But see, you knew that. I knew from an early thing, I was not really hers, but she just took me in as. But I was always jealous of Thor. I was always jealous because he had both, and they were his actual parents. They did not treat him any different than me. I just felt the difference because I felt different. So naturally, he would treat me different as well. Board would treat me different. So so do that. So what in your life are you overthinking this? Where do you need to look? If somebody angry and you feel that you're taking all of the brunt or whatever, you're overthinking it somewhere. And what are your beliefs to create that thought? So what are your beliefs and your values? My belief at that moment was I wasn't loved. I wasn't worthy. I can't be a warrior, but I can trick. That was all I can seem to do. But it was just me getting attention. I wanted to have fun. I just didn't really, nobody wanted to have fun with me. And I wanted to bring people happiness, but I was also bringing fires and disaster. So I was like, well, okay, I'm not really making people laugh. But my heart was in the right place. I was just doing the wrong things, you're right? So it was like, okay, so I need to take a look and take my responsibility in all of this. Which my responsibility was, I knew what I was doing. I was doing it for laughs and to humiliate my brother, to humiliate my father, and it wasn't necessary. And then I would look at Michelle and Angie, and I'd realize that Angie just had her own path. She was just going to go her different. Didn't mean she didn't love me. It just meant she had a different path to take. And Michelle stayed for whatever her reason. So I accepted that. Like, well, she loves me. They both love me. Just they love me differently, and that's okay. However they love me. Angie by that point had grown and done great for herself, and I could still watch and protect her. I wasn't just there. And so, but Michelle just kept, choosing me and watching me, and I'm like, well, don't do that. But okay. But so I took my responsibility on that. I had to look at my beliefs. What belief systems did I believe about myself? As I said, I remember all my lives. So I had to go back from the very earliest times I even stepped foot on human soil to figure out what was my problems. What did it start? And I really had to do some deep work. So there's something in you that there's some deep work you need to be doing. If you're in your cave, we want you to get out of your cave. I eventually did leave my cave. It took a while. But once I left my cave, it was a lot better. But we don't ever want a human to stay in their cave. We want you to get out and live life. Because life, you're in here life. I let life pass me for thousands of years while I'm in a cave. I'm not existing. I wasn't doing anything. And in the meantime, I'm not teaching. I'm not doing anything productive. That's because I allowed my own thoughts to run. I overthought everything. And what my beliefs and my values, who was telling me stuff, my associations, and all of it. And I realized I had to change all that. And it took a lot of inner work. You say thousands of years, Loki? No, I dawdled a lot of it, okay? I dawdled a lot of it. Maybe I slept, I don't know. A lot of me whining about shit and mad at everything and punching the walls and being a man and I hate life, whatever. It's my bullshit. And humans as well, you go through your own bullshit. You eat, you smoke, you drink, whatever is your bullshit line. And you just go, I just can't take it, and that's going to help. And then you feel stuck, and then you're like, I'm stuck. I felt stuck. One of the worst feelings, I can tell you. Not great. But I learned to get out of it. So, as I was getting out of my cave, right, I went through my overthinking, my beliefs, my values, my associations. I knew I had changed some stuff, and I needed to go to the people that loved me the most. I knew she loved me beyond anything, so I needed to find her and my son, because they were existing, and I wasn't there teaching my son. I wasn't there for her, and in certain, before your humans have just known now 80 years, 100 years, but back then it was thousands. Humans could live a very long time before food was, certain foods being added and medications and everything, lowering your lifespan. But the lifespan back then, it was, like 1,000 years, 2,000 years. So I'm leaving Michelle in these different existences. I'm leaving her by herself in this time with my son. And here I am in a cave, whining about myself. So I fixed as far as I could, and I went to the first person I could think of, which was her and my son. My son by that point was a grown man. He looked just like me. He was my Atlantean aspect. And he was the one that talked me back to health. There was missing years, you'll hear them both say, where he disappeared. And we were just there. Well, that was it. And when I showed back up, I was gaunt-like, I looked deathly-like, and beat up and tore up. But that was me just expressing everything I had to get out. I often would cut myself and bruise myself and hit and just scream, and I had to get it all out. And I realized the more I let it all out, the better I felt. You need to let it out. You're probably keeping it all in. But one thing that Loki would always do, my son, he would let everything out. He was very calm. And I forgot, in Atlantis, I was a very calm young man. I was not all I was here. So I always think I'm the garbage part of my son. But my son was very logical, and he was very calm, and he talked to me. And then I talked to Michelle, and it was so different to know that I was so loved. And I believed in my values, and I told them both everything. I just spilled my guts. Where I was at, I was in this cave, and I am complaining, and I'm just going off. But they both told me, they let me talk, they listened compassionately, nobody butt me off. Michelle didn't go, well, you left me here alone, because Loki turned out to be a wonderful young man. And I'm like, great, you know, she did a good job, but I felt terrible. Now that's starting again. I'm going to overthink all the things she did by herself. But then I see that he said, but I have you in me. I'm still your aspect, and I'm you. And I turned out great because I had a wonderful dad. And you gave me a wonderful example already to start with. She was a wonderful mom, but she had you always pushing energy. So I was realizing that I was always sensing her and guiding her anyway, wherever I was. And he was guiding me as well. And basically me coming out was the energies of them pushing me out in love. They just simply loved me. For all of the asshole that I was, they just loved me. I would apologize oftentimes. I'm kind of an asshole. And they both say, we kind of know that, but we still love you. That is who you are. We're not going to try to change who you are. Maybe less douche-like, but no. But no, they loved me. And I lived the remainder of that with them. And that particular, because I loved both of them just so much. And they brought me so much love. And I was so drained, so dead inside. So, for you, get out of your cave, go through all of your beliefs. You know, write everything down, scream it out, whatever you need to do to get it out. It could take a while. It's a grieving process of getting all this out. And as you get it out, you feel better. And then you start looking at all your beliefs. Can you challenge these beliefs? Where did they even come from? Do you even still believe in these things? And if you don't, you need to get rid of those. I had a lot of those that were not even mine anymore. They were somebody else's beliefs. They weren't even mine. My values, I was valuing myself over my family. When I really loved my family, I didn't care about myself. I thought I was. I thought I had to do all of these things. But in the end, I really just loved my family. I loved her and I loved him. And I didn't need to be whatever I thought I had to be. I was always labeled, well, you're a god and you're this and that. Well, they'll give you an ego. And there's nobody understood my existence. Well, you're not a human, you're a god, but you're protecting humans. But I thought Asgard hates humans and they're weird. And yes, even I took shit to my head so bad. And to keep out of that spiral, I had to always remind myself I loved her. I'd focus on her, I'd focus on him to love myself. But as a human, you need to love yourself. To get out of these things, you got to love you so much, it doesn't matter what somebody else says. Are you hanging around people that just may be toxic in your life? I had to drop a lot of people that were toxic, that were not meant, that I should not be around. They were very toxic. Certain situations I thought I had to participate in were very toxic, so they went on my do not do list. And what I needed to do list every day. I kept busy, I chop wood, I do something, I do stuff with my son, and I would do things with her, and it was a very wonderful life. And they taught me how to be again, how to grow again, how to be. And that's what it is. You really need to go into you. What makes you you? Who's the authentic you? I didn't even know who I was for a very long time. I had to go to a cave to figure all that out. Nobody knew who I was. I didn't know who I was. So people dictating me who was I? You're an asshole, you're this, and you're a demon, and oh my God, and you do this, and oh my God, you kill this, and I didn't do any of this. But I took it in as I did, because your mind don't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference. In your mind, you think, if somebody tells you this long enough, you have done it. Even when you have it. That's why sometimes in your illusions, and you're going through your past, it's the story you've added on the story, on the story, on the story, because somebody told you what you did. And that's not even what happened. That's what happened to me. I didn't do half the things that people said I was doing. I had to go through all of it, realistically. It took a long time because, like I said, I don't die. I just keep existing. The next phase, or wherever that phase takes me. And it was very miserable for me. A few thousand is very miserable. But luckily I had my son and my wife to come to. So maybe that's all it is. Who's your family? Who is your friends? Who's your who can you go to be that support for you? Sometimes you can be the support for somebody else, but sometimes it's great if somebody can just listen to you. Because the more somebody just takes it out and love you, it helps you grow too. And it helps you love you. Talking to your guides and your inner guides, the best thing is talk to your inner. I depended a lot on feeling the energies of my wife and my son as my divine energies. And you have a higher self. So depend on this information you get. And if you need to talk, you've got a trusted friend, a trusted parent, or whoever in your life, take advantage and talk to them. And if you don't have that, if you have a pet, they'll listen to you endlessly. They just love you. Or sometimes you just talk to the wall. Imagine whoever is there and just talk to the wall. Maybe write and get that all out. I often would write in the cave. I'd often scream and I'd act like I'm talking to whomever and get it out. Basically just get the emotion out to release that emotion. And then look at it for realistic for what it really is. What story and what story did you add to it and who added to the story? And you find out after a bit that's not you and who created this, whoever this mask. And you take this mask off, as I took that mask off, and I saw a world that was much different than the world before the cave. Because I made that world. Then I created a different world with my wife and my son that was much better. And I ended up having a daughter as well, and it was Isabella. And I had a wonderful life once I realized all my bullshit and what passed. So that would be the lesson today. And if you're in a metaphorical cave, you get out. What are your overthinking thoughts? How are you judging yourself? Are you trying to be perfect? Well, you're never going to be perfect. Here's the thing. You're never going to be perfect. But your light is perfect. But you're in a human body, which is preventing all of that. So you aren't going to be perfect. You just have to understand that. But that's okay. You be whoever you're meant to be. Being imperfect is great because you get to learn from that. That makes you your quirks. That makes you quirky. That makes you unique from everybody else, is that imperfection. And I think that's great. My imperfection ended up being a plus for me, so I took it. And you get to see that on videos now, how that imperfection has got my name out. And I even got a Loki sauce at McDonald's. Sweet and sour, appropriate. So that worked for me. It worked. People like my pain. They associate with my pain. They go, great, you hurt. But I can associate with that. But the new me, I'm not an unhappy person. I'm a happy being. I get to channel her. I get to channel Angela. And I get to give messages like this to others to learn, to grow, and to not be what I used to be. Because I guarantee you are probably, at some point, you'll be in your cave, or you've been in a cave, whatever. This is how you get out of the cave. I just acknowledge who are you. It's going to take a bit. Even maybe start with what is your favorite color. I didn't know what in the hell that was. But earth being green what it was. The golden was the divine love I had for my wife and my son. And the black was just my shadows. I acknowledged all of my shadows, which became my colors, which everybody now knows. Those are my colors. And not just white, because I chose the colors that was me. Before there was red and black, because I thought red and black was it. Well, now those are Lucifer's colors. Those are not mine. But those are his. It fits him. It does not fit me. It never fit me. Because I changed my persona, who I was. My aspect was here to learn, to protect, but to learn, just to teach. I had to get past my ego. I'm still an ego, and I'm still an asshole, and I can accept that. But that's me, and that's how I teach a shadow. Because I can accept that, a part of me. You got a bit of, the food that, fresh out of fox. And see, that's me. I'm just fresh out of them. I just don't have any more for anybody. I'm full, I'm done, just whatever. I'm fresh out of them. Don't ask me. I will not have any more for you. I've had enough. Now I'm talking about you. I'm just talking about my past. But I am out of that. I love who I am now. I accept all the crap about me. and whatever. I accept all of it. And then I'm able to move forward to help you. Accept everything about yourself. If you're an angry person, you can change that. What makes you angry? Address that. What makes you sad? Address that. When you get out of your comfort zone, I had to get out of my comfort zone, and I went to an uncomfortable zone. And when I did that, that was me stepping back into the life that I left, accepting my responsibility, and looking at everything, accepting it, going forward. So that's my advice. Check all your stuff. Check you out. How are you? If you had to go in your cave once a month and just make a checklist, your to-do list, your not-to-do list. What is it that you need to change? What could you change? What could you get out of your comfort zone? What is it that you need to be doing? What makes you angry? Why are you frustrated? If you're frustrated, that's great, because it means there is something out there for you that you're just missing, and your soul wants it to go and travel. When I was in that cave, I wanted to get out. Not at first, but I did. I felt that urge. I was done, and it was time for me to go back home. It's going to be uncomfortable. I was going to have to face some stuff I didn't want to face. I'd rather face it, forgive it all, and go forward. And no matter what was going to happen, it ended up working great. Much better. And I didn't have to overthink anything. I overthought, and then I got there, they stopped it all because they loved me. And all the stories I had told myself was so untrue. I had basically wasted all that time whining about myself when it was not, I just made up all of it from all of the beliefs, the values I held from every life I ever had. You are doing the same thing. So just take a step back. Look at your beliefs. Look at all your shadows. Address your shadows. And you're not going to address them all at once, but it's going to be periodically something. And if something triggers you, that's great. If you're getting triggered, that's fantastic. It's something to address and to fix, because your soul light is perfection and your planetary is perfection. They don't want you to come home to them with any imperfection. They want you to learn as much as you can here, because whatever you don't learn, you're going to redo this life because you want to perfect it. So why don't you just perfect it now? But if you don't perfect it now, you will come back and you will perfect it. So don't worry if you're not going to perfect it now. You will come back and you will perfect it. So don't ever worry about that. But your planetary wants all of the necessary, cut through your shit. Now Plato's, same for me. They just wanted me to cut to my bullshit. When I looked at Loki, I seen that's how I was, how I used to be. I still am. He was just my aspect. And that was like, okay, that made sense. I'm still, in this crazy world, I'm still that calm being. And I'm still, but because it's the same light. And just take that away. You're the same light as everybody else. And you're here to learn something in that. You're here. And I'm here to be a teacher and to experience the things. And I went through a lot of hell because my hell is to be able to teach. I had to go through my own illusion so I could teach illusion. I had to be kind of like a Professor Snape, and I had to be able to take my experience and give it to you. I have to be a little rough, I can't sugarcoat, but it's to teach you, human, wonderful soul, to not do these things and get out of your cave. So allow me to be like your mountain guide and climb you up with a little bit of a smack to you. Just wake it up. Get out of your cave. Come on. You're wasting time. Come on. Get out. Told you the tips. Follow these tips. And as well, I am a humble servant to these humans, you wonderful humans, beautiful soul lights that join Blue Heavens, and we love you all. And I'm just here to serve. I'm here to serve, however, and if I can get you out of your cave and your shadows, then I've done my job. And if you need help getting out of your shadows, just message below or contact Blue Heavens. Go on to Facebook Blue Heavens, and we will help you. And there's other aspects that is here that can help you as well. Zacchaeus, my son, is a teacher. We have Marcus, who teaches self-love and unconditional love. You have Cosmo, who was here. He did exist, and he committed suicide. And he's there to teach if that is thoughts in your mind, somebody has committed suicide. He can reassure all the thoughts that there's no hell in all of these things. And he's a wonderful spokesperson. Then you got Archangel Lucifer that knows about the shadow, and he teaches that even despite a shadow, you can go to a light, which he's a light. He's an archangel. So Lazarus is made of all of these wonderful parts of Lazarus. And we come together, we unite as Lazarus and Lucian, and we teach light and we teach shadow. So that is what we're here to do. Teach love. And each vibration is here to teach you. I am Loki, and I am here to teach a shadow. I am here to serve you, to get out of your cave, kick you in the ass maybe, and to just leave and just go forward. And you live, and you live. And when you live, you see the paradise. And when you see the paradise, it all, and then just stop it. Just basically just stop it, wake up, and let's go forward. So many greetings to you. Much love to all of you, and have a wonderful whatever you're doing. And stay tuned for the next Blue Heavens videos, or whatever it takes you.